Good evening, and good to have you join us on the news segment of Dateline. My name is Princess Modi. By the way, Happy New Year in advance. The Senate has approved the sum of 28.7 trillion naira as the 2024 appropriation bill. The upper chamber passed the bill at plenary yesterday. The Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, assured Nigerians that the bill will be transmitted to President Bola Tinubu for expedited passage into law. President Bola Tinubu had, late November, presented the 2024 budget estimates of 27.5 trillion naira to the National Assembly. Christening the budget of renewed hope, President Tinubu said it will ensure microeconomic stability, poverty reduction, greater access to social security, amongst others. In a similar development, the Senate has approved President Tinubu's request to borrow $7.8 billion and 100 million euros as part of the 2022-2024 borrowing plan of the federal government. The request was approved after the Senate considered and adopted the report of its committee on local and foreign debt during yesterday's plenary. President Tinubu said the Federal Executive Council under former President Muhammadu Buhari approved the loans facility on May 15, 2023 to finance infrastructure, health, education, agriculture, insecurity, and other sectors. He noted that the foreign loan became necessary to bridge the financial gap and return the economic activities of the country to normalcy. The president said the fund will be used to develop infrastructure, agriculture, health, education, water supply, security, and employment, as well as financial management reforms. The member representing the Ndokwa Ukwani Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, Honorable Nnamdi Ezechi, has described as good news Governor Sheriff Borowori's approval of over 100 hectares of land for the Federal University of Medical and Health Sciences, Kwale, Ndokwa West local government area. Honorable Ezechi, while reacting to the development, said it was a testament to the governor's love for the Ndokwa nation in particular and the state at large. The federal lawmaker noted that the state government support for the federal university was in tandem with his vision to attract a significant federal presence to Ndokwa land in appreciation for the contributions of the area to the nation's economy. He commended the approval of 15 hectares of land at the School of Marine Technology Kwale campus, temporary site of the university, and another 100 hectares at the Umuseti Kwale permanent site, adding that it was progressive for the takeoff of the institution. While promising to continue to push for due recognition of Ndokwa land in the National Assembly, Honorable Ezechi maintained that his federal constituency deserved enough attention for being richly endowed with oil and gas resources and hosting over 7 multinational companies. He called on the relevant ministries, departments, and agencies connected to the takeoff of the federal university to leverage on the partnership of the Oborowori administration to facilitate the early commencement of academic activities in that institution. Believers have been charged to review and evaluate their lives and families as the year winds up and live in love and togetherness in order to make the society a better place. In a homily, Reverend Father Solomon Ebo gave the charge during the end of year mass at the St. Joachim and Anne Catholic Church in Asaba. Mora Isokbe reports.
In the sermon titled The Family Tree, Reverend Father Solomon Ebo harped on the need for families to take the moment for orientational review and evaluation about their lives and family from January to the last day of the year 2023. Taking a lead from the story of Joseph and Sarah in the Bible, the cleric said families should live in oneness, love, and peace as the family of Jesus, adding that Jesus should be the model of all families.
Have you been with your family as one? Have you lived together with your family as one? Or you have been living all by yourself? Look around and see families that work together. The family that stays together and see the kind of progress that they make. If you are on your own, you cannot make more progress like family that stays together.
Reverend Father Abel, quoting the Bible in 1 Corinthians 13, verse 1 to 4, stressed that no family can grow and progress without love and peace, and that, like a tree, the branches of a family are connected in love. He stated that to have a better society, there must be a good family, as the impact of our families cannot be overstated.
Love does not keep a record of wrong. In the year 2023, we have lived all our life keeping a record of wrongs. But this year is a new year we are about to enter. And this is the end of the year. We must have a kind of orientational review and evaluation.
The service featured prayers to God for the success of the year end and the incoming year. Mora Isokwa reporting.
Governor Sheriff Oborowori has given marching orders to the boards of Delta Broadcasting Service, Asaba and Warri stations to work out modalities and operational strategies that would enhance service delivery and new synergy of government activities across the state. Executive Assistant on Orientation and Communication to the Governor, Dr. Latimo Ogenesiwe, made the disclosure today in Lagos while speaking as a guest on a popular television station, saying that Governor Oborowori gave the directive when he hosted the new state executive members of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, NUJ, at the ESCO chambers in Asaba. He said Governor Oborowori's directives is aimed at making the two stations in Asaba and Warri to compete favorably with private television stations, which is why government shall henceforth pay adequate attention to manpower development, quality contents, upgrading of equipment and facilities that would attract the right audiences and big-time advertisers to boost internally generated revenue. Dr. Ogenesiwe quoted the governor saying that the boards of the two state-owned television stations and their general managers must, of a necessity, cross-fertilize operational ideas that will bring about a new dawn in news and information dissemination synergy, so that government events and activities are to be beamed simultaneously without any form of hindrance or delays. Dr. Ogenesiwe, who is also a member of Delta State Information Management Council, further stated that in order to reach all kinds of audiences across Nigeria and beyond, DBS Warri and Asaba would require the allocation of channels on GoTV and DSTV broadcast networks, which would invariably attract huge viewership and multifaceted commercials from manufacturers, advertising agencies, corporate bodies, and the advertising public to upscale the two stations' internally generated revenue from the private sector. He disclosed that the radio and television stations were established to primarily project government programs, policies, activities, and achievements, as well as synchronize news in line with guidelines and regulations by the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, and other regulatory agencies. Not less than 15 indigenous and non-indigenous of Owashuku community have received awards from the executive members of the Owashuku Association, USA. The award and dinner night took place at Frank Bryan Leisure and Resort at Owashuku in Anyoto South local government area.
My Lord, let me speak to Obiazike, my friend. I'm going to give you 50,000 dollars. Can you know?
The event brought together people from all walks of life to celebrate the love and unity of the people of Ogwashiku. The convener and chief host of the ceremony, Mrs. Antonia Ogwa, described Ogwashiku community as a peace-loving community that does not take hard work for granted. She said the essence of the award was to motivate those who had contributed to the growth and development of the kingdom. Mrs. Ogwa described the awardees as worthy sons and daughters of Ogwashiku community, as well as friends of Ogwashiku kingdom, whose contributions to the development of the kingdom could not be overemphasized, and advised other well-meaning indigenes of the kingdom to emulate the awardees.
I must say that I'm impressed. Thank you so much. On behalf of the Ogwashiku Association USA Incorporated, we the Ogwashiku Carnival crew members hereby present to you this wonderful award to encourage you to do more for our people and for the world of Ogwashiku.
She added that the awards were being presented to the recipients on behalf of the sponsors, the Ogwashiku Association USA Incorporated.
We need the Ogwashiku Carnival to be there for us and we for them going forward. We need to start promoting our culture, our tradition. It is very, very essential and the practice of our own culture. That is why this carnival is very important to us all in our community. It promotes your culture and tradition. It helps businesses. That's the economic part of it.
We have a brother by the name of John Agamu. He put all of this together. It's a cultural fun fair that is worthy of emulation. I'm from a noble lady that made it all happen. Let's give it up. This is my first time witnessing and attending this festival. Guess what? My children, my family, all of us, by the grace of God, will be here next year.
Mrs. Ogwa listed the awardees to include the Okowo twin brothers, Engineer Okowo, who built the resort in Ogwashiku, the Iyase of Ogwashiku, Chief Mike Mwakoni, and the Isagba of Ogwashiku Kingdom, Chief Jude Oza. Some of the awardees expressed satisfaction with the awards, saying it will spur them to do more.
This is coming to me as a very big surprise because I am somebody who does not like attention. It just alleviates the suffering of my people. And I want to encourage you to continue with the good work. You put Ogwashiku in the map. You know, this annual carnival to the feet of every month has brought a lot of attention to the town, and I want to encourage you.
I had the privilege of knowing Mr. John Agamu, a wonderful patriot, a philanthropist by nature, a loving man, and a brother to know. Without much ado, we present this award to him, a well-deserved award. Let us give it up to him.
And ever since 2011, we've been handling a lot of projects, you know, DSPG and some other projects. And one of it that is a grand star is this from Brian.
You know, we were just doing our daily work to make sure we earn a living for our families. But then again, they found us worthy to be a recipient of this award. On behalf of my own sister, Dr. Director Redemption, I want to thank this body so very much for having recognized her.
Some guests at the occasion described the awardees as people of great reputation who has served selflessly in various capacities in Ogwashiku community, the state and the nation, and enjoined them to sustain their commitment to the growth and development of their community.
Nance Lord's Kiari over refurbishment of Port Harcourt refinery. Some oil and gas experts have said that the coming on stream of both Port Harcourt and Dangote refineries may lead to some marginal reduction in the cost of petroleum products and not a significant price crash. The experts made this known in an interview with newsmen today in Abuja. According to them, some ancillary costs such as freight and port charges, among others, would have been eliminated to achieve the marginal reduction. The federal government had, on December 21, announced the mechanical completion and flare startup of the Port Harcourt Refining Company Limited and the subsequent streaming of its Phase 2 in 2024. This, according to the Minister of State Petroleum, Senator Heineken Lokbobiri, will herald the commencement of the production of petroleum products after the Christmas break. The PHRC comprised of 2 refining units, with the old plant having a refining capacity of 60,000 barrels per day, and the new plant 150,000 barrels per day, both summing up to 210,000 barrels per day. Reacting to the development, an associate professor of energy and natural resources, University of Abuja, Olariwaju Aladeintan, said there should be some marginal reduction in petroleum prices as some ancillary costs would have been eliminated. However, he explained that the price of petroleum products may not come down significantly as to describe it as crashing. And still to come, the federal government reviews charges regime for micro, small and medium enterprises. Stay with us.
Your flight will be ready shortly, ma'am.
Thank you. Breakfast in Paris. Lunch in London. This could be you. And there's more. Hey, Mai, tell them more.
Of course. Now this is what I call a win. And this could be you too in the Globe Festival of Joy promo.
By recharging 50,000 Naira or more within a month, you could be among our 100 winners who will win business class tickets from Lagos to Paris to London. If you recharge 100,000 Naira or more in a month, you could be one of the many winners of a premium bungalow in Nigeria. The more you recharge, the more your chances to win.
How was your flight?
Delicious.
Glow Unlimited.
Back. National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has reviewed its charges regime for micro, small and medium enterprises in conformity with the global economic realities. The agency said the downward review of the processing fees for the renewal of locally manufactured and foreign products was aimed at encouraging investment and boosting the Nigerian healthcare sector amid the global economic downturn. Rising from its last National Council meeting, the agency reduced the extant processing fees for the renewal of registration for locally manufactured products by 65% to 44,200 Naira from 68,000 Naira, while the processing fee for foreign products witnessed a 45% reduction to $450 from $1,000. A 10% review of tariff structure for facility and inspection fees for special economic zones has also been granted. Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, the agency's Director General, said the review was aimed at helping MSMEs survive the temporary economic fallout of fuel subsidy removal and enhance the ease of doing business in Nigeria. A statement today by the resident media consultant in NAFDAC, Shayo Akintola, said the downward review of the administrative charges for late renewal of NAFDAC regulated products was to make the business environment more investment friendly in a quick response to the realities of the time. The Nigeria Customs Service has warned Nigerians and other relevant parties against smuggling goods and every form of illicit trade. The Controller General of the service, Mr. Adewale Adeniyi, today gave the warning in his New Year message. Mr. Adeniyi said Nigeria Customs Service will strengthen its anti-smuggling strategy in 2024 to improve its performance and boost Nigeria's revenue profile. He said Nigeria Customs Service was determined to improve its statutory revenue collection function through import and excise duties, among other taxes and levies in 2024. Mr. Adeniyi said concerted efforts were required among all stakeholders and called for more cooperation with the service to achieve the feat. He added that other measures are being implemented to increase revenue generation, including deepening operations and automating customs processes. 24 hours to the new year, operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have intercepted a Qatar-based businessman, Agu Evidence Amobi. Agu Evidence Amobi and one other, Uchebu Onyebuchi Obi, with consignments of psychoactive substances at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos. A statement by Femi Babafemi, spokesman of the agency, said, while Amobi was arrested on Saturday, 30th December, at the departure point of Terminal 2 of the MMIA on his way to Doha, Qatar, on a Qatar Airways flight, Obi was taken into custody same day following the seizure of a consignment of 72,000 pills of tramadol, 225 mg, which he attempted shipping to Kano on a local flight. Mr. Amobi, who claimed to be living and working in Doha, Qatar for over 10 years, was caught with 1.30 kg cannabis sativa concealed in a bag of foodstuff. He claimed he bought the substance in Enugu to deliver in Doha to enable him raise enough funds to pay his rent in Doha and Nigeria and school fees of his 3 children. In the same vein, NDLEA operatives at the domestic wing of the airport intercepted a carton containing a total of 72,000 pills of tramadol, 250 mg, with a gross weight of 38.50 kg. The global scene is next as we join our world news desk.
Gay people escalating a crackdown on sexual minorities in a country where they already face social ostracism and jail terms of up to 2 years. Mr. Diesime said it was countries that wish to attract causes to themselves that accepted same-sex relationship. The president was speaking in an interview session held on Friday in eastern part of the country. He asserted that if the gays were found in Burundi, it would be better to lead them to a stadium and stone them, adding that it would not be a sin, describing homosexuality as imported from the West, to which he had zero tolerance. Uganda passed a law in May that carries the death sentence for certain categories of same-sex offenses and lengthy jail sentences for others, a move that was widely condemned by Western governments and human rights activists. The United States has imposed a range of sanctions, including travel restrictions and removing Uganda from a tariff-free trade deal. The World Bank also suspended all future loans to the East African country in protest. Meanwhile, some lawmakers in Kenya, South Sudan, and Tanzania are pushing for similarly tough anti-gay laws in their countries. The politicians in these countries see their efforts as buttressing African value and sovereignty. Palestinians have continued to search for survivors after Israel yesterday bombarded the Ezer Zawada area of the central Gaza Strip. The Ministry of Health said about 100 persons were killed and 286 wounded in the Israeli attacks on homes in central Gaza close to Nazar Hospital in the past 24 hours. Report says the Israeli War Cabinet will meet to discuss captive prisoner exchanges as Netanyahu vows to continue the war. The report notes that the total number of arrests made by Israeli forces since October 7 stands at 4,876. Activists have launched a global campaign asking people to turn the New Year's countdown across the world into a countdown for a ceasefire in Gaza. The activists noted the reason for the launch to be the trauma of the war, where 30,000 civilians had been killed, including over 10,000 children, noting that it would be right for the New Year's resolution to be a call for a permanent ceasefire. Reports say the campaign has successfully been embraced by 30 countries, including Switzerland, Turkey, Malaysia, Australia, Mexico, Tanzania, and Germany. President Xi Jinping has said China's reunification with Taiwan is inevitable. President Jinping reiterated this in his New Year's address to strike a stronger tone than he did last year, with less than 2 weeks to go before the Chinese claimed island elects a new leader. Reports say January 13 presidential and parliamentary elections are happening at a time of fraught relations between Beijing and Taipei, even as China has been ramping up military pressures to assert its sovereignty claims over democratically governed Taiwan. China considers Taiwan to be its sacred territory and has never renounced the use of force to bring it under Chinese control. Although the Chinese made no mention of military threats in his speech carried on state television, China has taken particular exception to current Vice President Lai Ching-te, the presidential candidate for Taiwan's ruling Democratic Party, DPP, and leading in opinion polls by varying margins, saying he is a dangerous separatist.
All right, back home and in business. We'll now join our business news desk for happenings in the business sector.
Mr. Aliko Dangote, the richest man in Africa's wealth valuation, has moderated significantly in dollar terms, where he lost $3.61 billion this year amid the CBN's devaluation of the naira. Mr. Dangote remained Africa's richest person for 12 consecutive years and closed the year with a net worth of $15.1 billion. Data from the Bloomberg Billionaires Index reveals that Africa's richest man, who was ranked among the top 100 at the start of the year in the world, closed the year at 128th position. He suffered net worth losses this year, despite a 21.3% uptick in Dangote Cement, Nigeria's second most valuable company, primarily due to the naira's devaluation. His net FX assets, according to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, stand at about $2.58 billion. Nigeria's naira posted its worst year since the return to democracy in 1999 and was the worst performing currency in Africa. The liberalization of the foreign exchange regime in June, as part of measures to revive the economy, led to a large devaluation of the naira. The CBN merged all segments of the FX market into the investors and exporters window and reintroduced the willing buyer, willing seller model. The naira has continued to depreciate against the dollar and other major foreign currencies since then. The 66-year-old self-made billionaire in cement and sugar founded and shares Dangote Cement, the continent's largest cement producer, which can produce 48.6 million metric tons annually and has operations across Africa. The latest Securities and Exchange Commission findings shows that he owns 86% of the publicly traded Dangote Cement. Dangote Cement operates in 11 African nations and has an annual manufacturing capacity of 48.6 million metric tons. Companies related to Mr. Tony Elumelu closed 2023 as one of the top performers of the year, marking a remarkable year for the billionaire investor. Combined, the companies gained a whopping 1.6 trillion naira in market capitalization, one of the largest gains for a group of companies owned by a billionaire on the NGX. Transcorp Group, Transcorp Hotel, UBA, Africa Prudential, and United Capital, all listed companies, are associated with Mr. Elumelu, where he has majority ownership. The companies ended the year with a combined market valuation of 2.1 trillion naira compared to 467 billion naira at the start of the year, an astonishing 1.6 trillion naira in additional value. Mr. Elumelu does not own all of the shares in the company, but he controls the entities as the largest single shareholder. Also compares to the NGX, which experienced a remarkable bull run, boasting an impressive 45.9% gain in its all-share index. Despite grappling with challenges such as high inflation, a depreciating exchange rate, and persistent security concerns, Mr. Elumelu's company delivered outstanding performances, sure to propel the billionaire into the revered Forbes. He is also widely known for his promotion of Africapulation and his philanthropic work through the Tony Elumelu Foundation. In terms of market valuation, the companies as a group gained a combined 394% gain, a massive return under the harsh economic conditions. The companies controlled by Mr. Elumelu appear to have been driven by impressive performance. In general, the companies reported a combined profit of 524.8 billion naira and a market valuation of about 2.1 trillion naira. Under Capital, an investment firm, also recorded an impressive year-to-date return of 64%, closing the year at 138 billion naira in market valuation.
Nollywood veteran Kate Henshaw has opened up about her relationship with colleague Genevieve Nnaji. In an interview with media personality, Kate was quizzed about the status of her long-standing friendship with Genevieve. Kate Henshaw revealed in her response that she and Genevieve have had small disagreements in previous years. She, however, expressed her concerns about Genevieve's tendency to pull away from her and their colleagues. Kate concluded by saying she respected Genevieve and her choices, likening her to American actress Angelina Jolie. She said it was not a big issue. She has loved her, but sometimes she pulls away from everybody, and she described her as being nice. Veteran Nollywood actor Zach Orji is currently struggling for his life at a hospital in Abuja. Reports have it that the actor is unable to talk or walk after he slumped in the toilet. Orji is being attended to at the Intensive Care Unit ICU of the National Hospital, Abuja. And now to our thought for the day. Slowly is the fastest way to get to where you want to be. And with that report, we conclude today's news. My name is Princess Modi. Happy New Year in advance, and thank God we made it. Yeah? And have yourselves a blissful night rest. Good evening.